What is your opinion? The truly authentic wellness?
Golf. That's good. Sorry, no. Recently, what we had here at Fusion Resort and Villas, you create the F&B by creating a destination. You know, when you have really good F&B, really good F&B concepts, people visit your hotel for the F&B more than the actual hotel. So I always believe that F&B can make the destination of a hotel. The bringing of talented chefs, the elevation of our food and beverage scene, but bringing people together to share. The best things in life is sharing a meal with great food, great wine, and great company. That in itself is an amazing well-being experience, if done well.
We are on the same page.
We're drinking water though. It's time for a glass of rosé, I think.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Arrival podcast by Hotelier Vietnam, the number one podcast in the hospitality industry in Vietnam. Today we are very excited to have Mario, our guest today. Mario will bring us inspiring story and insights in wellness, in hospitality, in many other factors. Thank you for spend time with us today and welcome to our show, Mario.
Hi, Khan. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today. Great to have you down here at our beautiful Fusion Resort and Villas Da Nang. Really, we're very honored and pleasure to be a part of this.
Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit about your journey in the hospitality?
Yeah, sure. Quite a long one, actually. Over 25 years now, going on.
But you still look very young.
Thanks, buddy. I guess I started when I was quite young, around 17 years old in Australia. My dad was a hotelier actually in Europe, Middle East, and then eventually in Sri Lanka and Maldives. So I guess that's where the passion and the bloodline happens, and that's why I followed in his industry, actually. I actually started as a dishwasher. That was my first job.
It was your first job?
Yeah, as a dishwasher, right at the bottom. Right at the bottom, washing dishes daily. And that's where I grew up, you know, like my dad always said, he started from the beginning as well. He was a night shift, a receptionist, and then grew up through that way. So for me, I came up through food and beverage. My dad said, come on, try to move overseas. So my first foray was into Sri Lanka. It's my heritage, right? So went to the old famous Langkawi Brewery, which is the Cinnamon Grand now. Iconic hotel, over 12 to 14 F&B outlets.
Really?
Amazing concept. So I was a part of the pre-opening for a couple of restaurants and bars there. There was an amazing Cheers pub, like English style pub, a fusion restaurant called Chào, like a fusion hotel. I did about a year and a half there, and then of course I wanted to, actually I was thinking of coming back to Australia, but I went over to the Middle East, joined the Le Méridien Dubai, which was the famous iconic Forte Grand. If you know, way back there was a hotel chain called Trust House Fortes, very classic hotel group, which my dad used to work for as well.
I see.
Hence why I got the chance to go and work at this iconic property in the Middle East. This hotel actually had 18 food and beverage outlets.
Really?
And I guess this is where the beginning of my career in food and beverage evolved. I guess I started there opening the first modern Australian restaurant. It was called Yalumba. Very iconic. We got well known for our crazy Friday brunch concepts that started at 12 and went all the way to 9 p.m.
Friday brunch concept, not Sunday brunch concept.
Yeah, I'll tell you why, Khan. Because in the Middle East, it was at that time, Thursday and Friday were the holidays. Because Friday was the day that everyone went to the mosque, of course, to pray, right? On the flip side, hotels were the only place where alcohol was served and where restaurants could serve to the expat community.
It must be very busy, huh?
Oh, yeah. We used to do 300 to 400 covers every Friday. So I spent about 5 years in the Middle East. In between that time, I also went over to Bermuda for about a year to get some exposure in the Caribbean. After that was my foray into Southeast Asia, starting in Bangkok at the, again, iconic hotel, which was the old Bangkok Hilton. Then it became the Swiss Hotel Nyla Park. What was amazing about that hotel, we used to serve the food and beverage to the former king, who passed away, actually.
I see.
Society of Thailand would have their weddings there. We had one of the first French restaurants, La Maison, and at that time it was probably our hotel and then the Mandarin Oriental by the river, which had very Michelin star level restaurants.
That's hotel I like it very much.
Everybody
likes Oriental Bangkok.
Yes,
everybody.
that's an iconic hotel for sure. My first stint in Da Nang, which was 10 years ago, was at the Pullman here, which is a great property, seaside property. And I guess I fell in love with Da Nang, and we were there for a couple of years. But then, of course, things happened. So we moved back to Thailand because an opportunity came up. And then 8 years ago, I came down to Saigon at the Sofitel Saigon Plaza, where I grew up, I guess, from number 2 to number 1, GM. During during COVID, the hard times, and then the rebirth of the property. You know, what we did, some really innovative concepts there and partnerships with other groups. And then I guess I was missing the beach, so came back to Da Nang to open this amazing wellness flagship hotel. And that's 26 years in a nutshell. Yeah.
We are talking about Sofitel Plaza Saigon. Also, one of the, I can say that the turning point in your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Sofitel Saigon Plaza is an iconic hotel, over 25 years. I was there, I guess, through the best years, 2018, 2019, when they were the best years also for Vietnam and tourism. We all know what happened in 2020, 2021, of course, we hit rock bottom, you know. But we survived. We entered survival mode, and that's, you know, it was funny. Everyone said, oh, you're lucky to be the GM, but becoming a GM during a lockdown with 0 guests, you know, that was the hardest time, I guess, to become a GM and then find out ways how to survive. I'm all about the social purpose value journey. And what I mean about that is that how do you create purpose value with your employees, your guests, and the community? And how you bring that all together is the most important thing. And that's where we started to test partnerships with different groups, you know, like Ministry, Reset, Habanos, bringing in these demographics and types of businesses that were known in the local community. They were partnering with us, and they were actually matching the lifestyle product of what Sofitel was. So by bringing these in, we were able to bring in new demographics of guests into our hotel. As things started to open up, we progressed on, and the hotel is still amazingly doing well. I was quite happy to be a part of I guess the last big project was the 25th anniversary, and of course ST25 by Koto as well.
Sofitel Plaza Saigon also was one of my favorite places whenever I come to Ho Chi Minh City to stay, but long time ago. And also I was the person to come to help the team for pre-opening.
Yes.
It's like a task force, the team from Metropole Hanoi moved to Ho Chi Minh City to help the people. And I know the product, I like that one, but I like more after renovation. You guys do touch up, refurbishment.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there was some soft renovations, but I guess some of the best projects I would say is like the 3rd floor, partnering with Tom and Guido, the famous Dutch guys who founded the Ministry concept bar concept and the Babad shop. The other one, of course, is Jimmy Pham and Koto. What Jimmy Pham does with Koto and bringing underprivileged kids off the streets and giving them a career in hospitality, we were able to partner with them and then give them an opportunity to join ACCO. So I guess it was creating community-based projects and that whole social purpose value journey by creating these partnerships that create long sustainable journeys for people in the community.
How long does it take for you, and what experience or how you can advise the people if you want to be promoted to BGM?
Every time when I talk about it in inductions or podcasts or giving advice, I say the 3 Ps. The 3 Ps are the most important, you know. When we talk about the passion, right? You always got to have a passion, especially in the hospitality industry. If you don't have the love and the passion to do it, you're going to regret it. Because it's very long. It's long hours. It's a long career to grow. The moment you love this job and what it does and the reward you get from creating amazing experience for guests, it makes it go much faster. But with that passion, there comes 2 more very important things, which is patience. And when I talk about patience, I always say patience is broken up into 2 things. One being, of course, emotional intelligence. But before emotional intelligence is emotional tolerance. As you grow through the hotel career, when you start at line level, then supervisor, then director or GM especially, you are mentally drained quite a lot, be it with your guests, your employees, your stakeholders in your community. Like, you are there at the forefront, dealing with battles of how to create an amazing experience first for your guests, how to create a safe working environment, and also a progression for your employees. Then the other is, of course, your stakeholders. How are we going to make profit and EBITDA, right?
It's very important.
Right? And then, you know, so you got to have a lot of emotional tolerance that gets depleted on a daily basis. And then when I talk about the emotional intelligence part, is that how you work, because this is my 7th country I'm working in, is how do you adapt to each of these cultures? You know, the way each country, the way they're brought up in the education system, the society, how does your emotional intelligence work in understanding those cultures? I always say don't job hop, but country hop, because the moment you live in these different countries, you start to get exposed to those amazing cultures, to those experiences. And that makes you very valuable when it comes to an international hotel management company or when you go to work in hotels around the world. And the last one, of course, is perseverance. I always talk about perseverance because at the beginning, you feel like, oh, forget this. I don't want to work in this industry. It is not the most lucrative. Many people don't want to join this industry because normally you start right at the bottom. Like I said, I started as a dishwasher. Many kids nowadays or something, they graduate, they want to become a director straight away. But if you don't learn the fundamentals in each department of a hotel, how are you going to lead them as you grow older? How are you going to know what happens in housekeeping, in front office, in food and beverage, or in a kitchen if you haven't worked in each department? Learning those fundamentals will also help you to understand the operational issues and then gain the respect of leading teams as you grow. That's the perseverance that you need as you go through. So passion, patience, and perseverance. You have these 3, as I always say, you don't have to worry about becoming a GM. You could even become a vice president, a CEO, open your own company.
Why not?
Right. So it's up to you. How far do you want to take it?
When you start your career in hospitality at very, very early stage as a steward, have you ever think that one day you become the GM or not?
Yeah, I always did.
Oh, really?
It was actually, I wanted to beat my dad.
I see.
So his last job when he finished was vice president, right? Running hotels. So I always said that, look, in your career line, when will I become... I wanted to become a GM faster than he did. I don't think I did. At his age, he was much younger. I was 32 and a half when I... No, sorry, not 32. I was 39. 39 when I became a GM. He was 33.
I see.
So I was a bit delayed.
So that means people also should be very patient working in the hospitality, especially when people want to become the GM. Huh? Yeah. One of the piece of advice for Mario. But when you become the GM of the certain Plaza Saigon, also 5-star hotel managed by Accor, prestigious brand and iconic.
That was probably one of the greatest moments also in my life and career. I was kind of like a troubled child, I would say. Really, like the prodigal child. I didn't study much, not like my 2 sisters. Really? One's a doctor, one's a CPA. I didn't go down that line, university and all that. So I studied much later in my life to get my qualifications, but I was more of a troubled child who was a bit wild, I would say. But I had a flair for working in this industry because I love working with people and I love changing people's lives. In terms of when I say people's lives, it's like mentoring, career, giving chance, giving opportunity. Because I am here where I am today is because somebody gave me a chance to be who I am. And I always say when you get the position to be a GM or a director or a leader or an owner of a company, your job is to ensure that you change somebody else's life. You keep that going, so you give the opportunity. And you've got to believe in some of them, Even in my hotels that I've worked now, I don't look at how many years you've worked for the hotel. I look at your attitude, your character, and what you put in. So sometimes we promote people who've only been there for 6 months, compared to somebody who's been there for 10 years. Because the value they bring to the table, the determination, the dedication is much more than somebody who had been there for 10 years who has just become comfortable or complacent.
And I talked to many experienced and professional hotelier, and people always mention about the attitude is very important. And but you just mentioned that you start for education a little bit later than the other in your family. But when you start become the GM, is there any difficulties or how you can overcome or what challenge you has faced?
Becoming a GM when the city is locked down, you're pretty much zero occupancy. You still have a team. You're thinking about how are we going to pay salaries, how are we going to survive. That was my first experience of becoming a GM.
I see.
It's
not easy, huh?
I mean, we got through. We managed to secure some contracts. long stay quarantine contracts that actually helped us to create cash flow. But the biggest changes was repurposing areas in our hotel, like our executive lounge. We actually work with the JTB, which is a Japanese import and export. We turned it into a showroom, right? So that brought in rental revenues. Similar to our lobby lounge, we rented it out. We looked some of our hotel rooms we converted into offices. So we looked at ways to create ancillary revenue to create cash flow. And then, of course, how do we go beyond that as we were starting to open up was doing food and beverage concepts. We had Reset, which was an amazing wellness concept, you know. It was cutting edge in terms of wellness, like we had hyperbaric chambers, infrared saunas, new calm sleep therapy rooms, you know. So it was quite new and innovative when we launched those items.
With your strong F&B background, and also it helped you a lot when you...
Definitely. I mean, we love doing like Saigon Gourmet Weeks when we used to partner with Escoffier and Chef Sakal, bringing in chefs from around the world to create. I always say F&B makes a hotel. Like recently what we had here at Fusion Resort and Villas. You create the F&B by creating a destination, you know. When you have really good F&B, really good F&B concepts, people visit your hotel for the F&B more than the actual hotel. So I always believe that F&B can make the destination of a hotel. And breakfast is the most important thing. What do you offer in your breakfast buffet? The variety, the selection is the most important. Because that also, the guests start to feel like, wow, these people really care about the F&B in this hotel. So they'll be more inclined to visit some of your outlets in your hotel to dine.
When you talk about the Chef Shakan, did you work with him during the time of Soten Plaza, or he already left at the time?
No, he'd already left at that time. He was the first executive chef of Sofitel Saigon Plaza. Great guy, and I guess he's the one who set the benchmark of what the French culinary scene was in Saigon at the time. And now he's the president.
Today I like his restaurant very much. The quality, the food is very good one. Huh?
Absolutely. He's the president of Escoffier now, and he's doing amazing stuff with all the chefs here. He's the one who brings the community together of the culinary world. And we love working with him because we get to actually bring them into our hotel and expose them to our guests.
So working at Soten Plaza managed by Arco, compare working with other hotel groups, because you have experience working in 7 countries, correct? So what is the advantage, what the beauty of Arco when you work for Arco, especially you grow up from executive assistant manager to GM?
I think, each company brings its different flair and opportunity. Love being part of Logis and Fusion. I mean, as you know, Logis Holdings is it's a major investment company that actually has ownership in the Metropole in Hanoi, the 2 Raffles in Cambodia, the Grand Hotram in Hotram. So, and this new flagship wellness product that they brought to life here. Fusion being part of this is actually quite iconic because it's the first Vietnamese brand that was born in Da Nang 12 years ago with Fusion Maya. And now they are starting to expand throughout Vietnam and Thailand. So for me, I've been between local and international chains throughout Southeast Asia, actually. Each of them give you a valuable experience, a valuable insight. Of course, there's different standards, complacence, etc. But it's that exposure and that flexibility of working with different companies that makes the journey even more exciting. I mean, this is quite a unique concept, this hotel. I mean, as we go, like one of the signature things here is our 3,000 square meter wellness concept, right? We have 26 treatment rooms, indoor heated pools, jacuzzi beds, infrared saunas, where the hotel is very much about a wellness curated journey, where we have retreat plans. We have detoxifying. We have a guest here who's currently here for 45 days on a special dietary plan that each day he has certain things for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as massage therapy, healing, sound healing, Tibetan yoga classes that all about helping him detoxify, lose weight, and enhance his well-being.
Okay, it seems that you are very passionate with Fusion and particular with this resort here. So we talk about that one now.
Sure.
The concept of Fusion is wellness. How you are and your team creating the wellness concept to serve our guests today?
Wellness is not just only about when people think, okay, massaging and yoga. No, it's many factors. It starts with, I guess, our rooms and our villas. The way that the hotel has been built in terms of the space. Everything starts, like our rooms, our entry-level room starts from 60 square meters and above. But the way the room is designed is to actually invoke the sense of space, light, the earth tone colors that already when you enter lowers the mood level that you start to feel, already starts to set the tone and the pace of how this resort goes. From there on, like what we have, our hotel being the wellness complex center that we have a wellness guru, a wellness director. They will sit down with you and we will curate plans for your stay, be it 2 nights, 3 nights, or 6 nights. What do you want to do? Do you want detoxification? Do you want weight loss? Do you want more mental well-being, like health? Do you want to have more relaxation? Because a lot of people, the past few years, they went through a lot. And everybody's looking not just for their mental well-being and peace of mind. And that's where we want to sit down with you and find out how we can create that here. This resort is also not just only about purely wellness. What I say is that now we're moving into, especially in Southeast Asia, is what we call multi-generational travel. So from your grandfather all the way to your grandkids. Our resort, because we're spread out over 15.5 hectares, we're able to cater to all these segments, be it the family that wants to come with the grandparents and the kids, or the younger one with their brothers and sisters, or extended family. Being our villas and our rooms, we can cater to that. And what's also great is that we're right opposite 3 amazing golf courses. You've got the BRG Legend Danang Golf Course over here with the Nicholas, the Norman, and Colin Montgomery. So when you talk about holistic wellness, this is what our property offers. Hence why it was built right here in this location. Being next to Non Nook Beach, which is pretty much private all the time. Stunning views all the way down to, you can see down to Sontra Peninsula. And then, of course, the element of F&B. We have plant-based menus. But also at the same time, we have cutting-edge food and beverage menu concepts, ideas in our Char Grill House. So well-being is very much holistic. It's how do you enjoy the wellness center, the food and beverage, the amazing kids clubs, the gym houses that we have, 24-hour access gym, the golfing element, and then our rooms. How do we put that all together to create a curated package that appeals to all generations of travel? Because a lot of Southeast Asians now travel with their grandparents or their extended family. But at the same time, like I said, we have the intimacy with our villas and our presidential suites and our corner suites to create that honeymoon and couples experience as well. That's what's quite unique of this resort.
But come back, we're talking about wellness. The concept of fusion, most of the resort in Vietnam managed and run by Serenity or Fusion, it's a wellness concept. And we are talking about the Fusion Resort and Villa in Da Nang. It's multi-generation. So when the job boss or the people just at higher level, they are happy or they don't happy, you go right way or wrong way or...
Look, the wellness concept is also, all our rooms, what's unique about our wellness concept, as we say Fusion Wellness, is that every room comes with 50 minutes a day massage therapies or therapies included. Wellness therapies. So we have curated menus, so it's all inclusive, right? When we talk about the wellness concept, that's what Fusion is known for. It's that when you buy the room, you're guaranteed every day 52 minutes to an hour a session where you can sit down with our therapist or our spa directors and you can go through a menu of different types of massage treatments, healing elements that we offer to you. On top of that, also we have wellness classes throughout the day. Some of the best ones is probably the sound healing class. They use the ancient bowls where they play the sounds, and what it does is draws out all your negative energy. I've tried it; it's an unbelievable experience. We also have aerial yoga, early morning yoga, hatha yoga. We have also wellness areas where we could take you to, Marble Mountains or the Mison area at like 5 or 6 a.m. in a more private and exclusive way to have a yoga and let's say, a heritage well-being experience. So these are, when we talk about that section, yes, we have that, of course. We're very much a multi-generational travel hotel that has appeals to all these sectors.
Actually, when I come back here to Fusion Resort and Villas, I see the business is improving, a lot of guests, and sometimes it's not easy to make the booking here, correct? So that means you are in the right track.
Sure. I mean, look, we've only been over. Sorry, God. I mean, you're absolutely right. Look, we've only been open for 9 months, and we're running 80% this month. You know, I mean, we haven't fallen below 60% in the past 4 or 5 months. It's amazing. Da Nang itself is booming, but the way this hotel has started has been. I mean, I've worked in different hotels where we've been startup. We've just been post-opening, where it's taken more than a year, close to 2 years, to get over 50 to 60% running occupancy, right? So this is the way it's appealed to the consumers, the customers, has been phenomenal. They've really taken aback at such a great product that's been offered. And the way it was built by the Fusion Group and Lodges, they had that in mind. They knew what they were targeting and where they wanted to go. And it's only upwards and onwards from now.
With the high-rise building, about 160 room key, and then the villas, that means the number of the guests and number of room is quite large. Yeah. How come you are able to accommodate, to offer on the guest with 50 minutes for spa? How you can manage that one? Yeah,
so the wellness inclusive is for the guests who ocean view and above, suites, villas, etc. So we're doing about 220. But if you look at that wellness concept, that's a 3,000 square meter place, 26 treatment rooms.
How many?
Open 26 treatment rooms.
I see. Okay.
So you can see that we have quite a lot of space and we have 35 therapists here. So we have the manning and the team to look after you, and we accommodate all requests. So when you say those numbers as well, we are able to accommodate it very well.
Very good, because I stay at all of the Fusion properties in Vietnam. Yeah. But for me, sometimes not easy to get the booking for spa, because it's always busy, or because of the limit of the spa treatment room, but luckily here that you guys have about 26 spa treatment room.
Absolutely. So that was the idea. That's why it was built as a flagship one. It's actually the right amount. So we've only got 157 hotel suites, and there's 85 villas, but we're actually only around 30 of those villas are with us. Right, so that in terms of the rental pool, the rest is of course real estate and people living here. So it's only that set of rooms that are entitled to it. So it is very manageable in terms of how you want to, what time of day. So we're open from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. There's enough time frame for you to schedule what time you want to have your wellness class, but also at the same time, we have other classes in our yoga studio or by the lawn where people can join as well. So what we do is actually, when we have the bookings, our fusionistas, which is our guest relation officers, will get in touch with the guests like at least minimum 3 to 4 days in advance. We'll send them the menus, the breakdowns. We'll often have consultancy calls with WhatsApp or Zalo through that. We'll try to establish that even before you arrive, so we can book your schedule in, which actually helps you even better.
When in advance, yeah.
And of course, from the moment they check in, they are, of course, escorted to our room. Our wellness director or spa will get in touch with them again. We're very much tech savvy now that we have an all-purpose 24/7 app service that can talk to our guests and has real-time booking service as well. So they can actually also pick through there. Or they can have the comfort of one-to-one consultations with our wellness team as well.
I have one question for you. Because with the large number of spa treatments, how that means you have to own the spa employee staff? They are the staff of resort, or you take people from outside also?
Sure. I mean, we have our permanent therapists, but like anything, of course, there's always demand for more and more therapists. So we do have to use some casual laborers. That is probably the hardest thing about working.
How you guys going to control the quality, and is there any complaint from the guests that is not up to their expectation, and how you fit that one?
It's definitely a great point. So here, luckily in Da Nang, we work with a let's say, an agent who actually only specializes in casual therapists who work between most of the resorts here.
I see.
So we have a database of these ones we ask for a strict requirement. How many years of experience have they had? Which hotels they have worked in before, and we sort of bring these therapists as our casual therapists. We also do, first, before we put them on to one-to-one therapies with our guests, our spa director would have one-to-one sessions with them to train them and follow our standards.
Very good.
Before we put them into operational basis. But like, you're absolutely right. I mean, keeping therapists manning is quite hard, but there are solutions and mitigations that we look at how to ensure that we offer the best quality.
That's why you need people, especially professional hoteliers, should be flexible, creative, and find a way how to fix on the situation. Talking again about the wellness, but when you came from Sultan Plaza, Saigon, it's city hotel and here the resort, and wellness concept. To my knowledge, you didn't have much experiences in such kind of field because you have strong background F&B on such
Firstly,
kind
you're
of thing.
absolutely right, Khan. I had no idea about wellness. I've been to many amazing, I guess, spa complexes, but didn't have a clue. And that's exactly goes back to my part about, like, I guess, emotional intelligence and adaptation. It's all about adapting to the surroundings you are and how fast do you pick up and understand what's on offer. That is also the most important thing. The more I've had exposure to different hotels that have had, of course, spa complexes and wellness complex, not of this magnitude for sure. I'm fortunate to have a fantastic hotel manager, Miss Van, who comes from actually a rooms and wellness background. We have hired the right people. So we've hired ex-Fusion, who have transferred from other Fusion properties, who have come here, who have specialized in wellness. So it's about, for me, it was learning from all of them. Definitely, being the general manager, we have a more holistic way of running the operation, right? But I always say it's about us empowering and finding the right people and then giving them a chance to succeed. You know, a great example is, of course, our Marco, our assistant manager, Marco Miss Van, who was promoted here and she's moved up in her career. It's always about, like I said, giving the chance for others to succeed and grow. And they'll actually bring the best to the table for you.
About Fusion Resort here, just put into operations about almost 2 years.
Our grand opening, our soft opening was July last year, and our grand opening actually was only November last year.
Yeah. So, and also we joined a little bit later. But when you just start joining this one, for you, any just challenges for you to put the operation in smoothly way?
That's a good question. Definitely. I mean, there was, there are certain things that as a brand new hotel, you have to rectify, you have to adjust, you have to tweak, as we say. We were fortunate enough for this hotel to be established well, built well by professionals, which is Logis Hospitality Holdings and Fusion Group, and as well as Soda Management. I have to give, of course, Alvaro and Jacob from Soda Management were here as the pre-opening consultants who set up the first framework. And then, of course, we came in now to run the operation. And as you grow through the months, naturally, you're trying to grow occupancy and grow business. You have to adjust certain areas, be it the food and beverage, be it the operational staffing level, be it the right equipment that you need in right area, what channels of marketing are we going to use, what target market do we want to achieve. There is many factors when it comes to revenue management, to sales and marketing, to housekeeping, to front office management, to food and beverage, to the engineering, there are so many different areas in a hotel, but how you make them all work together is the key ingredient to making a successful hotel. And
how you make it happen?
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that's what I said. Like, I mean, the exposure that I've had, the people that I've been able to hire and work with, the faster you make them see that purpose journey that we want to achieve, where do we want to position our hotel, how far do we want to take it, then the magic starts to happen.
Okay, you talk about the flagship, you talk how you want to position the hotel. You mentioned that Fusion Resort and Villa is flagship in your group. Why is flagship?
So my good friend Dawid in Fusion Kamran will probably think otherwise. So it is different. Like this fusion is very much different because the other fusions have been much small. They're all different in the way they're built. Fusion Kamran is an all villa.
I stay there.
All villa project,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're very different. Then you've got Fusion Originals, which is all about art and deco and very unique, located in Takashimaya, Saigon Center. We've got Fusion Hue that's coming up soon, and Fusion Hanoi Originals. So, but the main element is that all these hotels, we stay true to our wellness concept, which is offering the included massage and wellness classes and therapy on a daily basis. Then we have also the anytime, anywhere breakfast. You could be sitting in your pool and having a floating breakfast in your villa. You could be at 8 p.m. All of a sudden you wake up after a very, like you just slept the whole way through. I want to have breakfast. We'll bring it to your villa. We'll bring it to your suite. So we have these signature, anytime, anywhere breakfast, all-inclusive spa therapies. So that's the synergy that we keep. Now this property, why we say it's a flagship is because of of course it's brand new, it's 9 months old, but where we want to take our wellness concept centers to. If you take a walk, I mean, it's a stunning, project. Like for me, what I love is the indoor heated pool and the waterfalls. They're actually massaging waterfalls. If you sit underneath there, the pressure that happens with the waterfalls actually massages your shoulders. You've got the jacuzzi day beds. You've got the space, the look, the interior, what it invokes again about that well-being, that mental well-being. You've got the infrared saunas. Infrared saunas, the technology behind it is fantastic. You know, a 45-minute session in infrared sauna burns 500 calories. It reduces your blood pressure. The cortisol that increases is the cause of stress. All of these elements are healing your body in these infrared sauna. Amazing steam baths that we set at around 48 degrees. It's absolutely quite large, can fit up to 12 to 14 people. They've gone really out there to create a holistic wellness journey here at this property.
I get your point. Now, some of the properties or resort in Vietnam or even in other countries go for wellness concept.
Yeah.
How you guys make it unique and different compared to other, even compared to the new one in Hội An, Namia?
We learned from them. Their principles and everything is how Fusion was born and grew to where it is today. Yes, they've opened a stunning project there. Fabulous. It's a different target market. When I told you about our property being multi-generational wellness and holistically, whereas their property is more secluded to, let's say, maybe the single traveler or couple travelers. So each property has, I guess, their target market, what they want to achieve when it comes to this whole wellness journey concept. For me, being in Southeast Asia, being in this region, multi-generational travel is the future. Especially here, a lot of the kids, they live with their parents. Most of them still live together. Or they've been abroad and they're coming back and they're reuniting. We have them wanting to travel with their young kids. And that's why we have different elements here. Like our kids club also has babysitters to look after the kids, so the parents can be enjoying their wellness. Or you'll be across the road playing golf, relaxing. Or you could be all together having an amazing meal down at Cha. This resort, because it's spread out over 15.5 hectares, is like a little wellness village, I would say. You have the ability to walk around and not even see some of our guests sometimes. So when you talk about the differentiation from the other resorts, I would say that ours is that it appeals to so many different genres, mixes of people that want to visit our property. Whereas the other properties are targeting set segments that they want to achieve. So ours is much more sustainable when you talk about longevity. It's because it's quite broader in its selection.
When people talking about sustainability, what you guys doing here in order to keep the resort here?
Sustainability there's many things,
Sometimes people talk, but in reality, maybe people don't take real action or.
Sustainability, you gotta make sure that you don't mix it with like greenwashing. I mean, everyone does the glass bottles. Everyone does now. We do cage-free eggs as well. But sustainability for me is very much a holistic thing. How are you making sustainability with your community, with the products that you're sourcing, with your employees? Where is their sustainable career path? Because everyone has sustainability. For me, is very much intertwined with the purpose, social value that we create. How do we create that ecosystem? I say. That applies to everything, and that's not just only about environmental issues. It's about like I just mentioned, succession planning of the employees. Where is their growth? What is their future? What are we doing with our guests to create more experiential experiences? Sometimes our guests also want to know, where do we source our products from?
Exactly.
Where is the traceability? Are you sourcing carbon neutral products, carbon free? And of course. That for me is more sustainability. If you look at it as a holistic way, be it our energy, are we using solar panels? Are we using renewable energies? Are we practicing waste management? Are we giving back by employing underprivileged kids, like what we do in other properties? Partner with non-profit organizations to ensure that these kids can come and work in our hotels. Are we supporting local farmers? So yeah, for me, sustainability is ticking the boxes in all these elements,
exactly.
and creating an ecosystem that actually carries on for years to come, where you're changing not just your employee or your guest experience, but you're changing the lives of everyone in your community where we work and live.
I see. Talking about awareness, what is your opinion, the truly authentic awareness?
Golf. That's good. Sorry, no, that's my personal wellness being. For me, wellness is many factors. I think what everybody wants is really peace of mind and well-being, having a true sense of peace of mind, and then of course your health. How do you want to feel? Because I always say self-love, self-take care is the most important thing. If you don't practice that, how do you take care of the teams that you lead? How do you take care of your wife, your kids, your partner? How do you take care of how you want to feel every day? So self-love, self-take care, there are different elements to do that. Be it, of course, exercising, eating well, drinking well, socializing with friends on a regular basis, playing golf. How do you feed your mind and your gut? Both of them work together, right? And that creates the soul of you. Once you've nurtured that, you achieve, I think, your well-being, whereby you should share that with others who need that. I hope that answers your question.
It's quite reasonable, and it convinced me.
Okay.
A few minutes ago, you mentioned about the plant-based, talking about F&B.
Yeah.
Can you share with the people here, maybe plant-based,
sure.
a new thing?
So, I guess, like for our burgers, we use that Beyond Meat, which is a plant-based beef patty. But more than that, okay, we got a herb garden. We talk with our chefs to curate very low-calorie, high in, let's say, proteins, etc., to curate these menus for it. That's when we say plant-based, it could be from herbs, the vegetables that we're using. Are they, grown? Or the meats or seafood, are they farmed or organic free? Are they like free-roaming eggs or free-roaming chickens, free-roaming fed meat? What we do is we look at the traceability of how they are grown, how the food is grown. And there's different elements when it comes to meat, when it comes to plant-based food like herbs, spices, vegetables, potatoes, etc., like that. Everything that's grown either above the ground or below the ground. Are they treated with pesticides? So once we source those items out, we create menus and we show you the calorie count. Where did we take it from? This is the traceability factor of it. This is the elements that you'll have, the vitamins, etc., that will be in this meal that we're preparing for you. How do we cook it? Which kind of oil do we use? So there's many elements to that. That's why our executive chef has curated some amazing plant-based. We say plant-based menus, but I would say more wellness menus.
I see. Do you think that the plant-based will be a trend in the future or currently now?
I think we're just coming back to it. I mean, you think about 300-400 years ago, what were farmers doing? How were they getting food? What was I mean, it was all about crop and agricultural, right?
Mm.
How did you get milk? You go to the farm, right? So, I mean, you think just 300-400 years, all we're
Come
doing
back to our root.
is just going back to organic because we evolved so fast, we got so used to processed food and fast food. I mean, look, we're nearly 9 billion people in this world, right? The exponential growth of the population, how do you grow food that fast to feed that many people? Naturally gave rise to the birth of processed food, of unnatural farming methods, of many times to make mass volume food to feed the masses. Hence why I guess agricultural is so important now. Organic farming, everyone, like in first world countries or even here, everyone talks about organic food, organic marketing, or organically sourced. This is nothing new. This is something that we all did 500-600 years ago. So it's just, they're starting to understand that, I guess, more and more. It's not a trend, it's not a fad, it's a way of life that we sort of forgot, and we're bringing it back again.
Okay, but not everybody, not all the hotelier or F&B professional people just want to bring it back.
No,
because it's not easy.
Yeah, because there's a cost element, right? You tell me.
That's what I want to talk about. Tell us. Because have you ever, or do you know that is there any plant-based restaurant in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City you try?
Yeah, there's a good one in Ho Chi Minh. God, I forgot the name. No, look, there are many. There is the rise of many vegetarian and plant-based restaurants for sure, because people are starting to become more cautious about what they put into your body. We always talk about our gut health, right? Our gut health, your bacterial gut. What are you eating, and how is that? That actually plays a big part of how do you feel. It creates your mood swings. How do you feel every day? So people are getting much more conscientious about where do they get their food from and what do they put in their body. So this gives rise to people who are specializing in that. The problem is, to do agricultural is costly now. I mean, look at central Vietnam. I'm coming back after 10 years, and this corridor from Da Nang to Hoi An has developed a lot more. Before it was just purely rice fields. You're native. I mean, like all that agricultural is getting wiped out purely for development, which is also sad in one way.
Whether awareness is changed in the future is truly or just people want to make marketing only.
If you look at the statistics and data right now, the wellness industry in the next 5 years is going to be worth 4 trillion. It's actually going to supersede just normal tourism.
So somebody who follows Hotelier Vietnam, who want to be GM, who want to be the successful employer, just here Mario will be the mentor also. One more. One piece of advice for young generation who want to pursue career in hospitality. What's your advice?
You're gonna have to use the part where I said before. The 3P. Look, I always definitely look. It's the 3P. It's always just been the 3 Ps.
Come back to the basic.
Passion, patience, and perseverance, and show up. Just show up. But have these 3 Ps. Really show up and with the right mindset. It's so important that you fix your mindset, but at the same time also self-love and self-take care of yourself. You have these elements, you can go very far. And I always say my door is open. Come have a chat. I'm always happy to share and talk, because that's what we're here, to inspire and to share.
If somebody who cannot contact Mario, they can contact our Hotelier Vietnam and win pass the connection and the contact. Thank you very much, Mario, for your time being with us today.
Fabulous.
And I'm confident that Fusion Resort and Villa Da Nang going more and more successful in the future.
Sure.
And thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to like, to share and subscribe also, please. Thank you again.
Thanks, Khan.
Thank you.
Cheers, bro. See you.